Hello, Shabai! Christ, you and welcome to episode 9! I had to figure that out there, quick time on my hands. 9! We're like nearly at the end of the season. I can't believe
Oh,
it.
it's crazy. One away.
I
We're
know.
one away.
One away until we have a little break, and then we will be back bigger and better with season 2. But yeah, nine episodes in. Who would have thought?
Crazy. Absolute. How have we got here?
Don't know.
What
Don't
have we
know.
got here?
Absolutely mind blown. You
I
know?
feel like on the end of episode 10 it'll be like an emotional send off just for
Oh my
like
gosh, I'm gonna be crying. uh,
oh crazy.
yeah, but no, well, it's just can't believe it. Honestly, can't believe it. 9 episodes, and then next week's our last one for a bit. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do with all this time off in between?
I don't know. It depends how long the break is.
Yeah, that's true. That's
How long
true.
it is. But
That is true.
very exciting to start preparing for season 2.
Yeah, me too. Lots of big changes, I think, are in the works. So we shall see. But anyways, enough of coming towards the end. Let's get into what we're talking about today. And what would that be, Jack?
So, obviously, as everyone knows, there's all of the news going around about Universal opening in the UK. However, what we want to talk about is, could there be a Disneyland and could it work? Could it work here? That is the big question. It's something that we've spoken about kind of previously. It's
Yeah,
something
yeah,
that we've spoken to other people about before, I think multiple times actually,
yeah.
like as kind of like a possibility. But go on. Say there was a rumor, or say there was kind of confirmation that Disneyland would be coming. What would your initial thoughts be?
I'd be excited. Initially, very excited
Yeah.
because obviously Paris is our home park, but it'd be nice to have a home park closer to home. You know, and
Yeah.
I think that's what's going to be good about Universal. That's only going to be for me like a 3.5 hour drive. I could drive 3.5 hours. You know, that's fine.
Oh yeah. For Disney. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. But Paris is like, if I wanted to drive there, it's like an 8 hour drive.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
want to
true.
do that. Fly, you can fly there in a half hour. That's expensive. Train, you can get a train there. That's even more expensive for whatever reason. You know?
Yeah, I don't know why. Why is
Yeah,
Eurostar so
yeah.
expensive?
But it's just trains in general, right? Like
Yeah.
the train from Caerphilly to Cardiff is like 15 quid. It's 4 stops.
And then like, imagine trying to get the train from yours to like London.
It's like 180 quid.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It does my head in because the bus, like National Express, is like, oh, it's 15 quid. You know? It's like nearly 10 times cheaper.
Yeah.
I hate the transport in the UK. But no, yeah, let's go back to Disney.
Yeah, back to
You know,
Providence.
I would be really excited if there was whispers of it happening. You know, how would you feel? I would assume the same.
Yeah, I mean the initial thought of it, like you said, would just be very excited. Like I think everyone would lose their minds about it if it was to happen. I think I don't know. The problem is though, when I think about a Disneyland in the UK, I just think with how theme parks are at the moment, could it really be pulled off? Like, would it have the same magic as, like, for example, Paris or Florida?
I think if you were to get the area right,
Hmm.
like we're in the UK, um, I think it could be pulled off really well. Um, I think that it have a different feel to how Disney parks feel where I've gone. You know, I can only say for Orlando and Paris, because they gave off two completely different vibes. Anyways,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
so it's whether the vibe of a Disney park here is similar enough to sort of recreate the magic of parks elsewhere. That's what would be an issue, I think.
Do you know what I think one of the most important points that you touched on there is where it's going to where it's going to be.
Wales,
Would
Wales, 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 Wales.
think.
That's where it would be. Yeah, yeah.
Or is that just because that's what you're manifesting?
No,
Sure, it's not just because you've got all
yeah.
the castles around you.
Look,
Turn one of them to the actual Disney
Look.
castle. Just start doing some landscaping on it.
you know, we've got lots of castles, anyways. You
Well,
know, it'd be nice to add one more to the 600 we've already got. You know,
so I've thought about this, and my opinion has quite changed, I think.
right?
So at first, I thought, okay, they'll probably end up just doing it like half an hour from London.
Yeah,
You know what I think would be a really good place?
Scotland.
Scotland.
Yeah,
So I don't know, before, like the moment we were just talking, come on, I didn't even have this planned. I just thought to myself, Scotland would be the perfect place for it because it's a bit out of the way. You could pick somewhere that's a bit more secluded,
yeah,
and like Merida, like you could do a
yeah.
whole
Oh, you could. Yeah, you could.
brave section. That'd be
Like,
brilliant.
I think my thing with it being in Scotland is that everything. I just dropped my pencil. I think the thing is with it being in Scotland is you gotta then think about the weather.
Yeah.
Scotland's got one of the worst climates in the UK.
And ours is climate.
Sorry for any Scots, you know, but you do.
Yeah. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah,
But
you know,
you're right. Yeah, that's a good point.
you know, it rains a lot, and a lot can be said for here as well. To be fair, but it's yeah, I think that's the thing you have to try and counteract is the British weather
Hmm.
in order to have a successful park. Because, like, I know people visit the parks in all weather, regardless of, you know, where they are. Like, Hong Kong Disney is usually hot, humid, and wet, you know.
Yeah.
And is one of the lowest like populated parks, but still like thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people go in, like, you know. So you still have footfall, even if the weather's a bit naff. Florida, during the later months when it's hurricane season, is still, is Disney quiet, which is still extremely busy.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good way
So
to put it.
yeah, and then obviously like Paris in the winter months is still extremely busy, even though it's cold and it's wet and it may not be the most enjoyable. But you're in Disney, and a snow day, a rain day, or a wet day is in Disney is better than a snow day, wet day anywhere else. So
Maybe if it wasn't like up in the Highlands part of Scotland, maybe it was maybe the lower part. You know,
yeah,
maybe more towards like Newcastle.
yeah,
Newcastle's not in Scotland, is it?
it's not, no, that's northeast.
I always think that Newcastle's in Scotland, but it's not.
No, it's not.
Oh, this is the one.
You got a couple miles up to go yet.
Oh, sorry to everyone. This is called when you pick history, not geography. Edinburgh, near Edinburgh.
Yeah, Edinburgh. That is Scotland.
It's Scotland.
Yeah, I think
And
below Edinburgh is sort of like come over the border. That'd be Cloggerly.
or maybe if I turn it around,
Yeah.
maybe you do put it in Newcastle, so it is still technically in England.
Nah.
Ah,
Nah.
No,
I
not,
think, I
not
think, right, Wales or Scotland, it'd have to be.
I do think Wales is a good option.
I
I
think,
just think Scotland it would tie in better.
I think we got a lot more myths and legends than, same with Wales and Scotland,
Yeah.
than the rest of the UK. So I think those two areas, it'd be between them. You're right with Merida. You're spot on. So yeah, it would work really well.
To be fair though, they could still do that even if it was in Wales, just because it's still in the UK.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
wouldn't be as
But
immersive.
I mean, it would.
Well,
It would.
yeah, but I guess if you're in
We're
Scotland,
we're similar, you know.
uh, yeah. Well, you know what I'm like with accents. I can't tell. I get confused. I mean, I didn't even know where Newcastle was, so there you go. Actually, Nottingham's in Scotland, there.
Yeah, but no, yeah, I think Scotland would be a really good shout. Like you said, like Merida and having that like a whole land maybe dedicated to Brave, that would be
Yeah.
really like special and magical.
You know what I'd like to reserve if it does happen in Scotland?
What's that?
I want Iron Brew at every
Oh,
location
I want it
possible.
on tap. Yeah,
I want to be able to have like a barrel of it. I
yeah,
want Disney branded Iron Brew everywhere.
yeah, yeah. I oh I love Iron Brew. I haven't had
I,
Iron Brew in ages.
I had one the other day, and now I fancy it again.
Yeah. Do you know how you said that? I might go to the shop before they shut and just get like a crate.
I don't blame you. But do you know what's? Sorry, this is very off topic. You know what I think is better? The Iron Brew Extra.
Do you really?
Yeah, which is weird because I'm not. Well, I've now had to convert to zero sugar just for the diet. But in general, Iron Brew Extra I think tastes better than the full sugar Iron Brew.
Mad. See, I just always gone for the full sugar. I've never tried
No,
the
I think
extra or
yeah, it changes. Like I think there's certain drinks. You know, like for example, like Coke. I have to have a 4 pack Coke. Whereas yeah, there you go. Right now you're having zero sugar.
yeah,
I can't do that. But when it comes to like, for example, like a Sprite or an
yeah.
Iron Brew, I'm all right.
That's wild.
But it has to be an extra. It can't be the Iron Brew. I don't know what it's called, but I think there's like a zero.
Yeah,
There's two versions. I think there's like an Iron Brew extra. I think it's
yeah,
Iron Brew zero sugar, but both have zero sugar. It's weird. But yeah, I want it on tap everywhere. The
yeah.
whole park. I
I
want it
agree. I think it should be on tap everywhere. Ooh,
Perhaps
somebody's in the house. It's okay.
I was wondering what that was.
Yeah,
It was like, ooh.
yeah. Somebody's in the house.
Right, what we're saying. Oh yeah, back to
Back to Iron Brew.
Iron Brew. Um, okay, so if they were to bring Disneyland to the UK, what rides would you want them to have?
I think you gotta have a main sort of like main base of rides, haven't you? So I think Peter Pan, but I think the version over in Tokyo because it's better.
Not the Paris one.
I think you gotta have a Winnie the Pooh ride.
Oh yeah,
Got to.
got to. I want a whole land.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Based
That
around the
was,
Andronico Woods. That'd be so good.
oh,
Um
picturing. You know, like I think is it California where or is it Toon? Like,
yeah.
got the words wrong.
Toontown.
Yeah, because like I said, I've never been. But on the map, I know where it's positioned.
Yeah.
Imagine that area there being where the Winnie the Pooh area is, and you
Yeah.
kind of like walk into the 100 Acre Wood like through the tree,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then you get to no 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 no
That
no no.
would
Like, yeah.
yeah, that would be like perfect.
What? Why are we not on the
I don't
design team?
know.
Why are we
Let's
not on
phone
the
up the Imagineers. Like, look, guys.
look?
Listen,
We got the world
listen to
back.
Joe and Jack now, all right?
Yeah.
You know, we've got some ideas.
I would like a Big Thunder.
Yeah, Big Thunder. I think that's
Yeah.
a mainstay. Every Disney park, you kind of got to have it. So what have we got? We've got Peter Pan, Winnie the Pooh, Big Thunder. I think you got to have a Space Mountain.
Yeah, I would like a Space Mountain, but I just don't know.
they're making a
I was gonna
new.
say,
They're
I can't see what it's.
rebuilding a
What's
brand
that?
new. They're rebuilding a Space Mountain. I think it's in Tokyo, and it
Okay.
looks like it's gonna be amazing. So that's news from like this week, which it looks really exciting. So hopefully they would have brought that as well. So like brand new Space Mountain.
If they had the theme right, it could work. I was going to say that imagine it wouldn't work in the UK, but then I think, how does it work in Paris? Then
Yeah,
why would it not? But no, I think if it had like a good theme
yeah,
and like good work like the Tokyo one,
yeah. I'd
then I can.
I'd really like to see a Robin Hood dark ride.
Oh yeah.
I think that would be suited so well. So Robin Hood dark ride would be a lot of fun.
You know what? The more we talk about it, the more I can really see how it could work.
Mm.
Because before we spoke about this, the one of the main concerns I had, and don't mean to bring a negative into it, is like I said, would it really have the same magic? And a lot of that I think is because of the workers.
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
just can't imagine like what the worry I have is that a lot of people will just be like, oh, it's Disney, I can just do whatever. But a lot of the workers, people don't realize at Disney put so much heart and soul into what they do.
Yeah.
And
They
I'm
really,
just
really
worried
do.
you're going to get like the same average experience you get in a lot of
Yeah.
UK places where it's just like everyone's just like, oh, can't be bothered.
Yeah.
I hate everything. Kind of thing. I mean, I don't blame them because it's me.
Yeah.
But but yeah, it's that whole would the cast and stuff had the same experience? Would there be a lot of like
I th-
judgment from a lot of people? Would there
I
be a lot of like British arguments?
I think British arguments would happen.
Well, that would
You
happen in
know.
Paris.
Um. But like we. What am I trying to say here? I think if you fill the park with cast members who are people like us in our
Mm.
community, I think we would all make it special. We can sort of like give them Disney magic.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I think you gotta get the right people. They've gotta be quite picky with who they would have to choose in order to be cast members. Because obviously you want to portray the Disney brand the best that it could be. You know.
yeah. And I think a big part of that is in like building the UK brand
Yeah.
because I wouldn't say it's gone down, but it's not obviously like as big as it is compared to like a lot of other places.
Yeah.
And I think this would be like the perfect way to kind of build it back up, kind of like as like another Renaissance period like what they had in the 90s.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that'd be really cool. Because yeah, as being fans of Disney in the UK, we don't get much.
We get bits, we get bits, but I think it's the whole closures of the Disney stores, and I think that was kind of like the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
And I think it's on us now to kind of rebuild that back up.
Yeah. I mean that's how it yeah feels. So
Like, come on. You know what? Now the more we've spoken about it, the more I want this to happen.
yeah, that's right.
Come
I'll send an email over to Mr. Iger and be like, look, Bobby, listen to me now.
on.
Me and Jack, we got a plan. We got a plan for your park. All
Yeah.
we need is a couple 100 million.
Yeah. Well, but more than that.
All we need is a couple tens of billions.
You'll get
It's
your money
not
back.
even that much.
You'll get your money back tenfolded in 2 years. To
That's
be
a
fair,
big
from a
ask.
business perspective, they would make a killing.
Oh, they
Just
would,
like
yeah. They would. Especially, right, to combat Universal UK, which is coming out,
exactly.
which
Perfect.
is 2031 opening date, which annoys me right? Because if you're gonna do it in 2030s, it's gotta be 2030 or 2032. Why pick an odd number?
No, it probably won't be. It'll be longer than that.
Do you reckon?
There is no way with the amount of the way stuff gets built.
6 years.
The way stuff gets built in the UK.
They slung up Epic Universe in 2 years.
Yeah, but that's America. They just pop them up.
They do, to be fair. They do a really good job.
I'll give you an example. If anyone's listening from Nottingham, there is a shopping centre called Broadmarsh, right?
Right.
Broadmarsh got knocked down, God knows, 2014? Maybe earlier, maybe a couple of years after, right?
Right.
They said, oh yeah, it'll be sold by 2018. Oh, it'll be sold by 2020. Oh, it'll be sold by 2023.
Yeah.
What is it now, 2025? There's nothing there. The only thing they've built is a car park.
It's something.
It's something. And it's like, yeah, and their plans for that keep getting changed non-stop. And that's obviously, I know Disney will actually invest into it.
Yeah.
But I guess from that experience alone, I have no faith in like dates set. So
yeah, to be fair, we've had something like that over here. It's not anything as exciting as like a shopping centre being demolished and then sort of whatever's being done with it now. But like, we've got a road. It's called the Heads of the Valleys Road, and it runs along the three valleys. And that's been finished now, but it's been being built for like 15 years. And it was never meant to be taken that long.
Well, this wasn't. This shopping centre was supposed to have like a bowling alley and
Yeah.
a new cinema and obviously loads of shops and stuff. And then now apparently that's not even happening. Apparently they're just now basically getting rid of the rubble and making it just like a walkway. So it's like
A nice flat area.
nice flat area to sit on the bench and hopefully try not to get stabbed.
Nice.
So,
Sounds good. Yeah, sounds safe. I like it.
thank you, Nottingham, the home of Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Anyway, back to Disney. Because I went over really dark.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, I think it could happen. Right people, right place.
Yeah.
The right support. It could happen. I know when I always say, like, why did they pick Paris over the UK? And I'm sure I've read a lot about that. I think it's because it's more central.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's more central to Europe. Yeah.
So it does make sense.
Yeah.
But the UK, obviously, now since leaving the EU and also because we're an island and stuff, it would make sense to have its own.
Yeah.
And I guess it'll be nice. Like, it wouldn't take away from Paris, I don't think, at all. I think it would actually have it like it would make it like an even different experience, maybe even more special. Because obviously for us, it's our home place to go.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it would be just as special as Paris. You know, is like I've said in many podcasts. I think with Lauren, I said is Paris is such a whimsical place, and that's a feeling that you don't get at Walt Disney World. But the feeling you get at Walt Disney World is a completely different feeling you get to Paris. Like having a different feeling as you go through the park for the first time. Say it was a UK park, it'd be a different feeling, but it'd be a Disney feeling. So, you know, it would be good. My only concern is the weather. I think all the rides would have to be indoor rides.
Yeah, just be like everyone walking this park. Here's an umbrella for you.
Yeah.
Look. Yeah, we get like a pin that says "I survived Disneyland UK."
Yeah, I'd buy it.
Yeah, you buy the whole collection.
Yeah, I would. I'd have all the characters. Right, I think we're getting into time. We bring on a very special guest, and I've been excited for this one since we started talking about doing the podcast. Because this is another person that we knew from the start that we were going to have on.
We did. It's been a long time coming. It's been planned for what's it now, like 2 months or so.
Thereabouts.
But it's the right time, right place, right people.
It is. So let's get on to introducing introducing
In.
our very good friend. Give us a second, we'll get him in.
Okay, and now it is time, Joe, to bring on a very, very, very special
It
guest.
is. I'm
I'm
so excited for this
so
one.
excited. This guy needs no introduction, but we're going to give him one anyway. Please welcome the one and only Mickey's best pal, also known as Jordy.
Woo woo woo!
Woo!
Well, that is some intro. Thank you very much. And yeah, I will talk directly into the camera for this point. I'll talk to these guys. But thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Jordy.
Obviously, I've had you guys on, and I've been not worried, but I kind of put you guys under the grill at points. So I'm curious what you're going to get back at me with.
Jordy, I've been so excited. I mean, obviously, we've had you sort of ready to go in the pipeline for such a long time, and I'm so glad that we get to have you on one of the penultimate episodes of our podcast. And yeah, you put us right under the microscope and got all the juicy little details out of us on whilst we were on your podcast, which is fair enough. You gotta do what you gotta do. But I think it's now time for us to see what we can get out of you.
Absolutely, yeah. The roles are reversed on this one. I'll see what's coming. But no, I'm looking forward to it. It's always great to chat to you guys.
Yes.
It's always great to have an excuse to do it. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a lot of fun. But first things first, we always ask the same question to every guest, and it is as easy as, why Disney?
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Okay, why Disney?
We start off with right banger.
I don't know. I mean, you come asking me why Disney is like asking Michael Jordan why basketball.
Yeah.
It's something I can't explain it. It's been there. It's rooted deep within me. And Mickey Mouse, of course, is the shining light of that, and Walt himself, the parks, everything. There's just, I think we've got plenty of Disney in our lives, but I still think I need more. I think everybody needs a bit of Disney in their life. So
yeah,
that's, I guess, why not is the question.
That's a better question. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Why not?
Yeah, no, that's a great answer, because you're right. Why not Disney? I mean, all of us in this community feel the exact same way about this company, and it's just, they make you feel so warm and like welcomed no matter where you go. If you go into a Disney park, you're so welcomed. It's so lovely, and everybody makes it so special. So yeah, why not Disney? That's a better question.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good. On to you, Jack, is it?
Oh, sorry, I thought you were going to ask about why I started social media.
Oh, sorry if I missed that bit. I have. My bad. Cut this out.
That's all right. Professionals.
So why did you go on to start your social media journey?
This is a bit of a funny story, and one I have told a couple of times. So, but I'll tell it again. It started. We were on our honeymoon last year, and we were in Animal Kingdom, and somebody came up to me and said, "Oh, I watch you on TikTok." I was like, "Don't think you do," because I mean, at that time, the only account I had was a wrestling account.
Yeah.
So I was like, unless it is that, could be, but I don't think so. But then that kind of got me thinking, like, why not? Again, why not? Why haven't I got a Disney account? Because I do love it. It's nothing. It's not something I'm ever going to stop loving. I don't think it's not something I'll ever kind of. I had a little spell, as everybody does when they're kind of teenager, but like
Yeah.
I'm locked in now. So, and I just think the name Mickey's Best Pal came to me when I was on a bus, a Disney bus.
Yeah.
Because we'd been to one of the restaurants in Animal Kingdom on the first night of our honeymoon. I can't remember what it's called. Tusker House. It was Tusker House. So we went to Tusker House, and Mickey Mouse had signed something, and it said, "Your best pal, Mickey Mouse." And I was like, a penny dropped, and I was like, okay, if I do start an account, I'm gonna go for Mickey's Best Pal. So there and then I was on the bus back, and I looked, and I was like, okay, the name's available. I'm gonna take it now. so yeah, that's kind of how it started, but now it's just kind of grown much faster and much bigger than I really ever anticipated. So I'm kind of just rolling with it as it goes at the minute, and
Yeah.
just trying to put more of myself out there and hoping people like it.
Yeah, no, I love that that's sort of it's come from um like a card or something like that, was it? That
Mhm.
Mickey had signed. Yeah. That's really cool to sort of like put that together. And the fact, right, that Mickey's Best Pal wasn't taken blows my mind.
I
Yeah.
know. I know. I know. I couldn't believe it. That's why I kind of locked it in straight away. I was like, bang.
Yeah.
And then I started a TikTok account, started an Instagram account, and didn't even post until I'd got like back, until I was back for a couple of weeks. But I was just like, nah, I need to lock that in
Yeah.
because it just sounds cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And now here you sit at 11.2k over on Instagram. So like
I think it's even more than that now.
Oh, it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's 11.2 at the minute. I don't know what's happened, lads. It's like 9 months in, and yeah, it's very imposter syndrome-y. It's great, but I do it because I love it, and one thing as well that I will say that I don't think there's almost a stigma around a little bit, and it's like, oh, I don't do it for followers, and like there's an element of that. I do it because I enjoy it, but I also do it for followers
Yeah.
because I do it because I want to create a better life. I want to create a life where I can actually create a living doing what I love.
Yeah.
And that for me, that for my wife, for my dog, the more time I can spend with my dog, the better.
Yeah.
And to be able to potentially go into this as a career,
Yeah.
you do have to care a little bit about the content you're producing and the followers you're getting. And I do think sometimes it's a little bit like there's a stigma around that because of like the old influencer kind of
Yeah.
vibe. And it's like, I don't think people should be ashamed necessarily of healthy competition in this field. We all
Yeah.
work with each other, we all pull each other up. But like, if you see something one of my friends posts something and I think, damn, that's good. Like, I need to up my game a little bit. Like, do you know what I mean? There's nothing bad about that, and I don't
Yeah.
think we should be ashamed of that. And I think that's something that I'm kind of slowly realizing now. It's that for a while I was like, oh, I don't want to be seen as this, don't want to be seen as that. It's like, no, but I do want people to follow me because I do want this to be my career.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's I don't know. I just wanted to say that, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
I
No,
think
but
it's nice. Though. It's refreshing because I've noticed there's a lot of content creators who you can tell that's all it is. I think more
Mhm.
than the fact that they love Disney and the fact that you're honest with the fact that it's both elements together is refreshing and it's actually nice.
Yeah, it's not because I want to. It comes from a place of love. It comes from a place of like, look, if I can, the more followers I get, the better content I can produce. The better content I can produce. It's like that's what people are loving. If I can bring that to people's feeds and bring that into people's lives in somewhat, the more time I have to do it, I can free it up and make it better. And then stuff like the giveaways that obviously like you guys have done, I've done. It's such a good feeling when you've been able to, because of the work that kind of I've put in over these 9 months. I'm in a position now where a company will reach out to me with £100 voucher that I can just give to one of my followers. And it was lovely that I know for a fact it was a random wheel, but the person that won my giveaway has been following me since like day one, like on TikTok. So it was just such a great feeling. So to be able to do more of that and to have to do that, unfortunately, the game is you do need followers, but it's not just the number; it's the engagement and that community. That's the word that you want to kind of really hone in on and create.
yeah, well, that's fantastic, actually. I think you, of all people in this sort of space, in this UK space, you're smashing it, and you can see the amount of effort that goes into your content, especially with your cosplay as Walt. You're bound. It
Yeah.
was absolutely stunning.
Mhm.
And like,
I appreciate that.
For me to see it, for Jack to see it, I know Steph reached out and she sent a lovely message to you as well. But as many others did in the community, and it meant a lot to all of us because you really carried yourself and portrayed yourself perfectly as the man that we all, admire and thank endlessly for giving us this world.
Yeah, it's that was it was an extraordinary experience. I can't lie. Somewhat emotional, somewhat like it was difficult on the build up to it. I nearly didn't do it because I just felt like this kind of immense pressure to get it right. But the feedback that I got was just, it made it all kind of worth it, because that was exactly why I wanted to do it, because like we'll never get to see it. And I know I'm not Walt Disney. Like I'm under no kind of, I'm not delusional to that point or anything like that. But if I know I would love it, if I kind of saw someone bounding as Walt walking down Main Street, it would mean a lot to me to just see it. So I'm glad that it came across in the way that I intended it. And I hope maybe I'll do it again one day.
I hope so, because I want to see you there, so I can like, oh my god, I'm gonna, so I can give a proper cry.
I was saying to Jordy before he came on, I said, I want to do a full Walt get up. I want to see Jordy as Walt right here, right now, because you are to me Mickey's best pal, and also Mr. Walt Disney himself.
Yeah, I listen. I thought about it, and I nearly even did it a second time when I was in Disneyland Paris, just to go and meet Mickey to get that experience. But
yeah, that would have been wild.
One day we'll get it. And then long-term storytelling, I guess. We'll get once that moment happens, it'll be even bigger than it was gonna be when it was in Disneyland Paris. So we'll see. I do have some potential things in the works for the Orlando trip. I can't go into too much detail about it. Yeah, I know a couple of. I'll leave it here. I know a couple of cast members there, so there might be an opportunity to create some content. But I'm just not quite sure yet, so I don't want to make it.
Yeah, no, that's super exciting though. If everything does go to plan and how you sort of hope it does go. So yeah, that'd be very exciting.
Yeah, very exciting. I mean, so what is it? When are you going?
When am I going to Orlando?
Yeah, isn't it August time?
It is on the 28th of August. So the original plan was 23rd of October. Then we moved it 3 months earlier because Virgin Atlantic messed around with introducing dynamic pricing for points. So that's boring stuff. I'm not going to go into that. But it is the 28th of August, and we're flying back on the 11th of September. So we're there for a full 14-night stint, and there's a lot of stuff going on while we're there as well. That's the thing. Some I will definitely attend, and some I unfortunately am looking like I can't unless I can somehow wangle a media pass to D23 destinations.
That would be exciting.
Destinations D23.
Yeah,
I'll have to get the name right if I'm going to get a media.
No, that'd be really cool. I hope you do sort of swindle your way into that. I'll keep keeping my fingers crossed for you. But yeah, no, that's exciting. August, September, my favorite sort of times to go. But I say it almost every time it comes up is because Food and Wine. Food and Wine's going to be on whilst you're out there, so I'm hoping to see a lot of Disney eats from your guys' perspective.
Yeah, you name it. I'll go and find it. I've promised our friend Jack there that I will create a reel walking from the entrance of Hollywood Studios directly to meet Sorcerer Mickey, so he knows exactly where to go when he goes.
I requested day one early.
I'll do it, and I'll be like, "This is what you do: you go to Hollywood Studios, you walk, you go meet Sorcerer Mickey, and then you turn, and then you walk, and you go to Fantasmic."
I need that though, because I unfortunately haven't got any clue, and sometimes I've got no common sense, so I probably will walk and end up at Animal Kingdom. I'm that kind of guy, so I need like a kind of holding my hand, take me to Sorcerer Mickey, take me to Fantasmic. But
I'll do that.
I can't wait for you. I can't wait.
He's coming in thick and fast as well. It's like what, 3 months, 4 months actually to the day, pretty much, that we're recording this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy.
Do you ever have those
That's gonna
moments?
fly.
Yeah, and do you ever have those moments where you just think, "Oh my god, yeah, I'm going back to Walt Disney World soon"?
Yeah, especially right now because again, so a year ago I was there. So all my memories right now on my phone, on my Instagram, on my Facebook, everything, it's just constant reminders of that trip, which is a wonderful thing, absolutely. But it just makes me think like, well, I want to go there now. And I feel like I don't know about you guys, but a lot of people in the community are going in May or in and around May. I feel like right
Yeah.
now there's a lot of countdowns that are kind of into sort of single digits or like, which again, talking about perfect times to go over to Orlando. I went April, May, did not rain a drop. I'd told Jay, my wife, about the kind of legendary Florida rain.
And he
And how
didn't.
heavy it, not once, like literally for about 30 seconds, and I was like, oh, here it comes, and then it stopped, and then I was like, okay. And like even Floridians, when we were out there, locals were like, this is hot, like
Yeah.
really hot. So the weather is wonderful, and I love it for that reason. But I'm excited to go in August because like I'm just in time for some Horror Nights stuff and Halloween parties and stuff like that. So yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. It's also
But
hurricane season, so you'll definitely see the rain.
Stand back, hurricane coming through. Yeah, 100%.
just taking it back a bit. Obviously, you mentioned earlier that you honeymooned in Walt Disney World, but before we even go into that, I noticed that you had a lot of Disney stuff put into your wedding. Tell us
Yes.
about that.
Yeah, so I mean, the dream obviously would have been to get married at Disney. However, the bigger dream and what outweighs a Disney dream, and there's only very few things that do, is having my dog at my wedding. And that kind of always was going to trump going over to Disney. We couldn't be taking Pebbles over to Paris. It would have been a nightmare. So we decided to do it in Liverpool, which was where we met, which was where we lived together when we first got together. And yeah, so we just thought, how can we Disneyfy this whole day? But somewhat subtle, not too much. We didn't build a cardboard castle or anything like that. And some of it was more subtle than others, for sure. Like, in fact, we had one of these on like every table as the little centerpiece. And the tables were named after our favorite Disney films or something from. So my granddad, who's no longer with us, is a spitting image of Carl Fredricksen. Like literally the spitting image. So my dad's side of the family, that table was up. You know what I mean? So if there was something that reminded me of them, I think my groomsman was the Avengers. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. But there was other little things, like we had a popcorn cart when people arrived to get that Main Street smell of popcorn. My wife bought me the most beautiful watch I've ever seen. And that was a nightmare to get. We had to get it shipped over from America because when we finally were going to buy it, it sold out on that day. So I had to speak to friends over in America who then bought it on the US store and then shipped it out to us. So it was a bit of a nightmare getting it. What else did we have that was Disney? Oh, we did, First Dance was Happily Ever After.
Nice.
But a slowed down version. The last song of the night was Life is a Highway.
That is brilliant.
My wife walked down the aisle to go the distance, like an orchestral version of it.
Oh,
and if there's any, there's photos of me, I was bawling. I was literally just crying my eyes out because I just couldn't believe how lucky I was. And Disney days are the best, but that will always, I think, will always be the best day of my life because it felt like a Disney day in that sense. Just a day of kind of showing, and I'm so proud of what me and Jay have in our relationship. And it was just kind of not in a negative way, but showing it off to the world in the most positive way possible. And I think like on that day there was people who I'd always spoke about how close me and Jay are, but on that day they kind of realized it, and everyone just had the best day. Nothing kind of went wrong. Everyone spoke to me the next day saying how much of a great weekend they'd had, and just couldn't have gone better. Yeah, really good, really good.
You're gonna set us off.
Nearly set myself off. I had to catch myself.
nearly there. I got a tear form in my ears.
I'm like,
Man, that's
I nearly set myself off. I had to catch myself.
that's
Yeah.
magical.
And one more thing as well. So again, I'll try and not set myself off here, but the reason I love Disney so much, I think, is many reasons. But my nana, who's no longer with us, she basically forced my granddad to go. This was before I was born. My granddad wanted to go somewhere else. She wanted to go to Orlando, and they went. And because of that, then they kind of paid for my mum and dad and said, you should go on your honeymoon there. And when I'd been born, my nana and granddad, I don't know if they paid for it, but they kind of definitely helped towards the finances of taking us over in the year 2000. I've got so many memories of watching Disney films with my nana. So having so much Disney around on that day was my way of like bringing her into the room. Do you know what I mean? So it meant a lot for that reason as well, I guess.
Wow. Gosh, I'm I'm actually,
so going back to why Disney.
Yeah, why Disney? Before I start absolutely bawling my eyes out.
Many reasons why Disney.
I'm tearing up.
Yeah, it means a lot. It does. Yeah. It does mean a lot. And that's why it's such a nice position to be able to share it. And I think as a kind of grown man, to be this open about my emotions and to wear my heart on my sleeve the way I do, I think I try and do it to set an example a little bit, to be like, it's okay to be like this. Like it's and again, a lot of that does go to Jay and making me feel like it just be yourself and like cry at dog adverts, dogs trust. Literally, honestly, I cry about twice a day. Like and sometimes for silly reasons, sometimes for genuine reasons. But like something can just like literally set me off. If I'm watching Modern Family, anytime Phil Dunphy gets upset, I cry. It's like I'm connected to him
living through Phil.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm a nightmare, but it's one of the things that is also one of the things that's great about me and that's different. So I've learned to embrace it, and I just think that if I can ever lead by example in that way to anyone, then I'm really proud to be able to do that, and I'll always continue to do it. You know what I mean?
Mate, that's you've just filled my heart with so much joy and love.
Good. That's what I intend to do. That's why I'm here.
And that is what you do all the time.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Definitely. Well,
how do we go on? How do we move on to the next stage from that?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know how we got onto it. Oh yeah, you asked about my wedding. Sorry. Yeah. And I even in my post that I did for my anniversary, I even said like I will never be sorry about shouting for the love for Jay. Never and never. If people don't like it, then they might as well hit unfollow because they ain't gonna stop. So.
I love you guys.
This guy. It's got the way of words.
Oh gosh.
Heart, gents. That's what we have
to do. Right. I think we're ready to move on to some viewer questions now.
Uh
oh. It's okay. They're not too. They're not too. No, they're all right.
Yeah.
They're good.
Oh no, they're all right. Yeah, no, they're all right.
They're good. They're good.
I've got one thing to jump in and say.
Go on.
One person did guess you.
Yeah, they did. They did. So they deserve a massive shout out.
Yes. Let me just double check who it is. I believe it is the same winner as your giveaway that you did on Instagram.
Is it actually?
Yes.
No way. Is it really?
Emily from Disney Discovery Guide.
Yeah. Shout out Emily. Yeah,
big shout out to Emily. Well
when
done.
Emily put it in, I was like, wait a minute. I'm sure Emily won Jordy's giveaway.
That's crazy.
And she was like, oh, is it Mickey's Best Pal? And I just put the eye emoji.
I'm telling you, like that's what I mean. I swear she was following from like early days on my TikTok. So that's why I was so happy that Emily won the prize. Hi, Emily.
Big shout out to her.
Thanks for guessing me.
No, that's like I seen the message come through. I was like, our story for questions has not been up for like 10 minutes. And, she was, oh, it's a Mickey's Best Pal.
Well, that was the best thing as well. Again, shout out to Emily for this. So, do you know how I revealed the winner of my giveaway?
Yeah.
I did the wheel and didn't tag them, and
Yeah.
then tagged her on the next one. Emily had seen my story by the time I was doing the next one, so she actually saw it as a surprise. Like she hadn't been tagged, just saw my story, and then her name popped up. So I was like, "Oh, I'm so happy that you won it with like you got the pop, you got the surprise." So yeah,
that's so good. That's so good. All right then, but that's get some viewer questions after giving Emily all this love and praise, which she rightfully so deserves.
Mm-hmm.
Right, okay. So, question 1. What are you most looking forward to on your Walt Disney World trip coming up in August?
Oh, right. So there's a lot. Because I've already, like I said, I've already organized to meet some people.
Yeah.
Out there that I've kind of connected with online. So I'm very excited to do that. Shout out Chris, David, hopefully JVTV if I can bump into him at Horror Nights. But yeah, there you go. Horror Nights, I've never done before, so I'm excited for that, although it's not Disney. Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. I'm very excited for that.
Fun.
The Villains Show, Villains Ever After, or whatever it's called, at Hollywood. Yeah. That's going to be there. The new Starlight Parade is going to be there. Yeah. Sorry to bring a parade up, Joe.
It's fine. It's fine.
But apparently it's going to be an absolute banger.
Do you know, it looks really good, and I'd probably sit through it as well.
This is a nice PR answer.
Yeah. You did say you'll sit through them all once. In all fairness, you did say that. So yeah, there's literally, although I went 12 months ago to the day that we're recording now, it feels like there's so much there now. Like Test Track 3.0 is going to be there. There's going to be so much new stuff. An Epic Universe.
Of course.
Epic Universe, a whole new park. So there's going to be so much there just 15 months later after I'd last been. Tiana's opened a month after I'd left. So yeah, so much. And one last thing is to be able to share it with all you guys, because last time I didn't have that page. Well, I signed up for it, but it didn't exist. So this time it will be, and I'll be there. So
yeah,
if you want to see all that stuff that I just mentioned, follow along and we'll have some fun.
Yeah, it'll be such a good time to follow you along. I can't wait. I'll be living through you. You know, because at that time I'll still have a year left on my Disney countdown. I'd say for Jack, he'll have a year and like maybe 13 months.
That's the thing. I don't even know how many days it is. I think it's like
I think when I get back as well, so I think we're going to try and go for November the year after to try and do the Christmas stuff, because we've kind of done all the seasonal stuff, and then that'll be another 15 months between trips. So it'll reset once I get back. But
you need to time it right with mine. I leave on the 4th of November. Try and come for the start. I mean,
yeah, no, I'll have a look. It all depends on when my events are with work as well. That's the thing. Of
course.
But because ideally, because the last one we do is usually in October, I think. So it might be a possibility, Jack. Leave it with me. We'll see. Even if we just cross over a couple of days, we'll see what we can do.
We'll make it happen. I mean, I'm trying to persuade Joe to tweak some of his days.
I tell everyone, bro, honestly, every time anyone speaks to me, I'm like, oh, book a flight. I'll see you there. Gonna get there, and he's just gonna have a group full of people, and Jay will be like, what's happened? Everyone turned up. It made it out of the group chat.
Imagine though, us 3 and K in Walt Disney at Epcot.
I'd be a mess.
I'm trying to persuade Ash Valmont as well. Shout out him if he's listening. Ash, book your flight. He's got 2 weeks off, I think, at the same time, and he said it's his favorite time of year in Orlando. So I don't know what he's waiting for. So yeah, but the D23 stuff. There's a Cruisecourtopia night. I need to try and get a ticket.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but just going back on what Jack just said, that's 3 going around Epcot. That would be a mess. That'd be a messy day.
I've not drunk all year.
It would be an extremely messy day then. Yeah,
it would be even worse than what you're imagining, because by the time
I'd be drunk in
Mexico. We'd start in Mexico, and I'd be drunk in Mexico. So
we'd have to wear GoPros the whole day.
Oh,
by the time we made it to Canada, poor Mickey would not be wanting to call me his best pal. Yeah,
Mickey's liability.
That's when I'd have to make a name change because I would get shunned.
I don't think I'd get to Japan. I think
you can't let me be drunk and be near Mickey Mouse because I'll cry.
Sorry, I think we cry together.
It'd be a messy affair. It'd be an emotional affair. It'd be lovely, but it'd be messy. So like we'd need to keep it sober. I'll have mocktails for every other one.
I'd dread to think.
Oh,
I just get loud when I'm drunk, so yeah, I'll be going, Mickey!
I know, oh yeah.
Right, let's get on to the question number 2. What's your favourite random Disney fact? I'm sure you've got a couple up in your brain box.
Yeah, I do, but a lot of them focus around Walt and Mickey.
That's okay,
and that's fine. So that's what you're going to get, because I don't know. I know people know this, but I don't know if enough people know this. That Walt Disney was the original voice of Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
Somewhat, I think if you're a Disney fan, it's not so much of a random Disney fact, but I think that more people need to realize that. So yeah, and I think also a random Disney fact that I always tell people, I think that Disney World's roughly the same size as San Francisco.
Yeah, I see the same thing. Is it?
Absolutely staggering. Yeah.
I think it's bigger than Manhattan Island as well.
It's crazy how big it is. Like the whole complex.
Yeah.
The whole resort itself. So yeah, they're the ones that I can. Obviously, there's the tunnels underneath and stuff.
Yeah. Do you know the first words that Mickey spoke on film?
No.
It's I've got one.
Yeah.
So the first words that Mickey ever said was hot dog.
Hot dog.
Yeah. But that's the first words that he ever said on.
I was thinking then. I was like, does he? Because he doesn't speak in Steamboat Willie, does he? He makes noise.
No, he whistles. Yeah.
Yeah, he whistles and just kind of goes.
Yeah.
A couple of times.
But yeah, hot dog is
still
his
repping
first
that
words.
today. Big shout out, hot dog.
I know, legend. That was a cast member asked me that question whilst I was pin treed in Magic Kingdom, and they were so surprised that I got it correct.
Nice.
But the pin was rubbish, so I got a sticker instead. So, yeah. Okay. So, going on to question number 3. What's one thing that makes you revisit the parks again and again and again and again? Obviously, you've got this year coming up. You're already planning next year. You've just not long come back from Paris. You went to Walt Disney World last year. You know, you're there a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So what keeps you coming back?
It's a few things now. I think it's where I'm happiest for one. So that's obviously why I'll always return there. The way that I feel with Jay when I'm there as well. It's our happy place to be.
Yeah.
So I think that'll always take us back there. But what was it? Walt said he said something when they asked about when Disneyland will be finished, and he said that as long as there's imagination in the world, it'll never be finished, kind of thing. I think that's what it is for me. Like we just went over then. It's 12 months since I've last been, and by the time I go again in 15 months, a gap, there's so much new stuff for me to kind of dig my teeth into, and I didn't even do everything last time. And as well, this is just talking about one resort. I want to go to California, Shanghai, Tokyo, Hong Kong. I want to go to them all. I want to do them all. I want to do the cruises. Yeah, it's just the feeling that I get when I'm within a Disney experience is just something that I can't really put into words, but it's the magic, isn't it? It's that Disney magic. That's what keeps taking me back, and curiosity to see what the new things are and to see what the future of Imagineering will be.
Yeah, no, that's a great answer, because you're right. It is forever changing, forever growing, and there's always something new to go and see. You know, so is it.
And as long as Fantasmic is running, I've got a reason to go back.
Yeah, it is the best show anywhere in the world.
Yeah,
the
it
absolute best.
It is. There's nothing better. Nothing on
No.
Broadway. Nothing on the West End.
No.
I don't want to hear it because it's not got Mickey dancing in all of his different...
Completely agree with you, Jack. I can't wait for you to see it and for you to witness it because it's
gonna
blow your mind.
Yeah, can't wait. I'm literally gonna FaceTime you both, and I'm gonna be like jaw drop, like, oh my god, I'm here.
Yeah, I can't wait. You wait till you're vibing, doing the Mexican wave while you're waiting for Fantasmic to start.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Right, question 4 kind of goes into question 2 a little bit, and especially with the answer you gave. But what's the most unexpected fact about Walt Disney that people may not know, which you can sort of give us?
Okay, so yeah, I thought about this one. This one is a tricky one, because I don't know how much people know. So I'm gonna say a couple, and one of them's just a straight up fact that you can. It's a trivia question. That Walt Disney has won the most Academy Awards in history. Wow. So Walt's got the most Oscars still with 29. 4 of them are honorary, and they actually awarded him an honorary award for Snow White and the contribution that it had made to screen and motion picture. But it was a unique because they awarded him 1 full-size Oscar and 7 mini ones. He also got an honorary award for Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse also, I think, is the only cartoon character to have won an Oscar or something like that. He's on the Hall of Fame. So there's all these crazy ones, but there's one that sticks out to me, and it's a lesson. And I know there's truth in it, and I choose to believe that it's fully true. So when Walt was in his younger days, he was working in Kansas City at a newspaper, and he basically, the legend goes that he got sacked for lack of imagination. I don't know how much truth is in that exact quote, but he definitely faced hardship when he was working at this newspaper, and he ended up parting ways with this newspaper. And he was chasing his dream, and he took a hit, really, and Walt took many hits throughout his life, but he just kept going. And I think that is one thing that is just so prominent to me. If you ever get that kind of knockback, if somebody tells you that the thing that you think you're really good at, they don't think you're really good at it, that doesn't mean that you're not good at it. That's one person's opinion, and you should just keep going. Because imagine Walt Disney had have stopped there. They'd have said, "Oh, the stuff at Kansas City the newspaper isn't working. They're right. I'm obviously not good enough. I should just go and work on a farm or something." Like, you know what I mean? Like, think of what the world would be without if he didn't have that determination. So I always look at that one as like a little, how I like to believe it's true. I know it's true. I like the quote itself, but I think that's one I like to bring up as something for people to maybe take something from, to be like, if you've ever had a bit of a knockback, just don't listen, just keep going, because you probably know better if you're chasing a dream.
Oh yeah, big time. And that's a good one, which I hope people listening will really take something from, because it is such a good lesson, to...
It's not the only time as well. I believe there was a story about Elvis getting told he couldn't sing, couldn't dance, and could act a little bit, or something along those lines.
And he was king of rock and roll, so...
Exactly. So, it's that kind of underdog story, which is why I think it probably has been exaggerated over time. But there is fact in it that he did struggle at Kansas City, in Kansas, at a newspaper, because he spoke about it, and it's been brought up in biographies and such. So,
yeah, fab, great dancer.
Yeah. Try and catch you off. Try and catch you off guard with one, because I know people know so much about him.
Yeah, but no, that's a brilliant one. Brilliant. And we'll go on to number 5. And do you think they should make a Walt Disney biopic? If so, how should they go about it? And I'll add my own to it. Do you think they should cast you? Because I think they should.
I don't know how much to say, because I don't want to get in trouble. No, I'm joking. We've been in contact. I don't want to Tom Holland myself, but
Yeah.
no. It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. Immediately, I was like, maybe not. But the more I think about it, yeah, they should. Because going kind of back on what I was saying earlier, I know people, probably the people listening to this podcast, know plenty of Walt Disney and the impact that he had not only on film and TV, but amusement parks, theme parks, society in general, and just pop culture, how much of an impact he's had. I'm not sure, sound like an old man, in this day and age, how many people are truly appreciative of that and know how much of an impact Walt Disney had. And as well, the story of setbacks that he faced and just kept going, that level of grit and determination. What he did with the Imagineers, but essentially from what I can kind of gather, he took a bunch of people that were like him, that felt that they didn't fit in, but they knew that they were geniuses in their own craft, and artists, and just people who weren't afraid to think outside the box. And not only that, actually thrived thinking outside the box. So there's just so much to learn from the lessons that Walt taught. So I think for that reason, yes, it should happen. I'll have to check my schedule, but
I'm busy with work, these days.
Yeah, I've
you
got that
just
event coming
up.
No, I don't know who would play him. I really don't. I think that Tom Hanks was such a safe bet. I don't mean that in a negative sense, because I love that in Saving Mr. Banks that it was Tom Hanks. There couldn't have been anyone more perfect in my eyes, because like Tom Hanks is that kind of person to me.
Yeah.
But now I just, obviously you look at the work that Timothy Chalamet is doing, and the transformation into Bob Dylan and stuff like that. So he would probably have the ability to do it. I think he's probably one of the best actors on the planet, and it's whether you would go for one person and age them throughout the process and do the makeup and the effects to age them, or you do 2 or 3 different Walts to kind of play the part throughout the years. It's a bit of a tricky one, but I think that Walt himself probably deserves the world right now to understand how much of an impact he's had on it, to get in, kind of, in my eyes anyway, where we are. Especially, I say that is because he's impacted a lot of the things that I love. So I guess it's somewhat biased, but I think even if you're not a Disney fan, when you watch the documentaries about, like, even just the marketing stuff, like putting characters on lunch boxes and stuff like that, that was Disney. They were the first people to do that. Do you know what I mean? These little things that we don't even think are really Disney because it's more of a marketing corporate side, this still had such an impact. So I think just to bring that in would be good. But Disney will have to do it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Disney will be the people that produce it. So I just don't know. I want it.
Yeah.
I just don't know kind of if it'll happen. If it does, maybe around like what would have been his 100th birthday, or has that passed? I think that's probably passed. So I don't know.
No, great answer. And I like the shout for Timothy Chalamet. I mean, he's done so many good films recently. Like you said, the biopic with Bob Dylan. He was great in Wonka.
Mm-hmm.
Really good. And in Dune, he's fantastic. So
there's so many parts as well that would be up for grabs as well, because obviously you'd have to have the Sherman brothers in there, and you know what I mean. There'd be so many kind of different parts. I can't remember the guy's name, but there was essentially a villain that stole Oswald from him and kind of hoodwinked him with that whole thing. So like that story would have to get played out. This is what I mean by all these kind of knockbacks that he faced, that I think is the film would be a quite a motivational thing for a lot of people to realize. They just think of Walt Disney as this incredibly successful man that opened Disneyland and had all these films, but it wasn't always that.
No.
And I think it's telling that story is why I think it should be made.
Yeah. And I think, what the title of it could be? Mickey's Best Pal.
It could be.
The movie poster, Mickey's Best Pal.
And I think
it'll be one man's dream or something like that.
Do you know
I think, or it'll just be Walt with like a
Walt. Yeah.
But if it were to be Mickey Best Pal, I think you should take legal advice.
I told you, as far as we are concerned legally, I speak directly into the camera. The Mickey that we reference in Mickey's Best Pal is not the mouse that you're all thinking of. I don't know why you would think that, but that is just my mate Mickey, that I'm best pals with. So yeah, no lawyers, please, Disney. No lawyers.
Can you also speaking to the camera and say, if any of these ideas are stolen, we would like to at least have like a minor role in the biopic.
I agree with
that. True. Yeah, I'll play a minor role. Then I'll shut up. I won't lawyer up then.
Yeah. Same.
They'll give us all like we'll be like walking down the street and like one of a random wide shot.
You guys could be the Sherman brothers, and I'll be Walt.
No, I don't know. I'd have to shave a beard.
Yeah, I was about to say you'd have to shave it.
Not doing
there is
that.
actually there's an Imagineer that's got a big beard. I can't remember what he's called. Is it Rolly? Maybe Rolly.
Yeah, I think it is. But yeah, that's it for viewer questions. I think we're gonna go into a little 5-minute break where we can get ourselves some water, maybe use a restroom, and we'll be back very shortly, and we'll be getting into Jack's Disney roll call, which hopefully I get some controversial opinions from you, Jordy, because I need to get you back from our episode of your podcast.
Stay tuned, I guess.
Right, we'll see you guys in a couple of seconds.
See you soon. And we are back with Mickey's Best Pal, and now we are going to put him in the hot seat for our weekly Disney roll call.
Come on! Yes!
Here we go.
Yes!
Right. Jordy, as you already know, but I'm going to tell you again because some of our viewers may not be aware. We're going to give you the names of 10 random Disney characters, and you are going to have the choice of 2 words to describe them. Either solid or pass.
Got it.
I can see Joe going,
I know, yeah.
I feel like
yeah, I know. I want to see some things pop up now.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe.
Okay, right. Are you ready?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. I'm going to start off quite nicely. Actually, to be fair, I don't even this list. It's too bad, but we shall see. Because sometimes it's the obvious ones that might get a pass.
Yeah.
True. Okay, so number 1 is Flynn Rider from Tangled.
Solid.
Massive.
Yeah, he's a solid guy.
Yeah.
Listen, we love a hero. We love a hero with a bit of a redemption arc, don't we?
Yeah, it's great. I love Eugene. Yeah. Brilliant.
Oh yeah, gotta love him.
No arguments here.
Not yet.
Right. Swiftly moving on. Number 2, Baymax.
Oh, solid.
Massive.
All day. I wish I had my own.
Yeah.
I know.
I wish I had my own, just a hug,
No.
You know, he's just so
That's
huggable.
That's also a character meet that I need to tick off my list.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like a dream character.
Have you seen the characters take breaks? Have you seen what happens when Baymax goes to take a break?
No.
He acts like he's got low battery.
Oh no!
So he just starts walking into the walls and stuff. And, he's trying to fit into his box and he keeps missing it. It's absolutely brilliant.
That's so funny.
Clips of it.
Yeah, that's great.
That is good. Right, number 3 is a bit of a throwing a spanner. So the Epcot mascot, Figment.
Solid.
Massive solid.
Listen. He get my purple dragon friend. He gets a lot of stick, and it's unwarranted as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
You got a problem with Figment. You've got a problem with me.
You got a problem with me as well because Figment is League Eye. You know.
Yeah, I think the ride needs a bit of a.
It needs a bit of an update. You know?
Yeah, it needs a bit of a refurb to bring it into more of the kind of
21st century.
Yeah, 21st century, I guess. But I think that Figment should also. They should introduce him on social media, I think. I'm not really sure how, but I think in the same way that Stitch is getting involved with all the trailers and stuff like that. I think that Figment needs to start kind of playing havoc within the Disney universe.
Should be a Figment series. How good would that be?
Isn't there something in the works?
I hope so. I'm pretty sure I've heard something.
Yeah, I'm sure there are some rumors.
Sure, Bob Iger mentioned it.
Yeah. It'd be nice to see because like we don't see much Figment stuff. And it is only an Epcot thing.
Yeah, exactly. And if you've not been, then like
you don't know. You don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, here we go. Right, so Bob Iger reveals that Disney may develop short form or a Figment series.
Good.
It's just a May at the minute.
It's good enough for me.
Something better than nothing.
True.
We'll see. Right, number 4, Tarzan.
Solid. I'm probably going to solid all of these. Tarzan's solid because the film, I shout out Ash again, actually made me kind of more appreciate. My wife will go mad at that because she's loved Tarzan for ages. But Tarzan's actually a bit of cinematic brilliance that I probably think is underappreciated in terms of it was one of the first animated films to use rotoscope or something like that when it's that scene of him kind of sliding on the branches, as well as obviously the soundtrack is pretty unbelievable.
Oh my gosh, Phil Collins did such a good job on it.
Absolutely cooking. So everything about Tarzan is great, and it also reminds me of George of the Jungle, which is a favorite childhood film of mine.
Yeah. Good reasons. Agreeing so far.
Yeah. Right. Well, through number 5 is King Triton.
Solid. Like
I pass him all day.
I don't know.
We were close there. We were close.
Yeah, we were close. The reason is because like I don't agree with his actions early on in the film, but he learns his lesson, and I think that because of that, I'm not going to pass him. I'm all about people realizing their wrongs and their redemption. Yeah, so for that he gets a solid, and yeah, he's squeezing in though. You're right. It's close. I'm probably being a bit generous.
Yeah, borderline.
Yeah, borderline.
Right on the fence.
So I'm going to jump in. I'm going to give him a solid as well, but I was going to give him a pass until I remembered about the sequel. And in the sequel, I think you can tell he does change quite a bit and kind of, is more thinking about others rather than his self.
So you weren't sold by the end of The Little Mermaid?
I was a little bit.
You were like, it could be just words, Triton. I need to see some action here.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, you love Ariel and all that, yeah. But there's a sequel, I think, solidified it for me.
You were there like, what happens next week, though? Like, how do I know that this behaviour will continue from?
What about if Eric does something wrong, and next thing you know, he might just slip
back into the same bad habits. It's a good point. Yeah, no, he squeezes into solid for me, just about.
Right, number 6, Dumbo.
If anybody passes Dumbo,
it's off with their head. If anybody,
Dumbo's so cute. I actually struggled and didn't watch the live action Dumbo because it hurt. I couldn't.
It's heartbreaking.
With a live action elephant, I could not watch that happen. Like I literally turned it off halfway through. It's the only live action Disney film that I didn't finish because I was just like, this is just a bit much. It's a bit sad.
Yeah.
With people, I can watch anything, but when it comes to animals, I can't.
Yeah.
I'm the same with you with the dog adverts. I literally can't. I will cry.
Yeah.
So I get that.
Anyone in the comments says pass on Dumbo. Bad, naughty.
Very bad.
What have you got against elephants?
Jordy, you have got an army of Mickeys right next to you. I mean, I think they're going to come and get some people.
Oh, yeah. They're in full force.
Oh, boy! They're coming flying in. Call them. Do the battle cry. Or wake up.
Oh. Right, gotta compose myself.
Sorry about
right. God, I just got a vision of Mickey's and cats. Were you going, oh boy? jump
Me at the
out
front.
and throw a little parachute.
Mhm.
Oh god. Okay. Right. Number 7. Clarabelle.
Mhm.
Oh, I think we might have got him.
The reason I kind of have to say pass on this, right? And I'm a very authentic person. Clarabelle was a potential meet and greet at the DLP Pass event that I went to when I was Walt. Probably bottom of my list, if I'm going to be honest.
I
So,
think she deserves more love.
yeah, probably does. But I have to be authentic. Like, when I was given the opportunity, do I want to go and meet Clarabelle, or will I pass on that opportunity? And I literally passed on that opportunity. So I feel like I owe you guys the honesty. So I probably have to pass this one.
You know what? We appreciate the honesty.
Do you know,
However, the only thing I will say is Clarabelle in Mickey and the Musketeers. She was brilliant. And actually, I've got a bone to pick with Clarabelle. You just reminded me now about DLP. I was trying to. She was doing this heart thing to everyone in the crowd, right? Which was on the parade, Joe's favorite thing. And then every time I was trying to do it back to her, she wasn't doing it to me.
Right. Well,
I was like,
Clarabelle. Well, I feel like Clarabelle would pass you then.
Clarabelle would pass me. You even tried to get on video.
So
I'm trying to.
Tune in next week when we get Clarabelle on.
I said to James, I'm going to say actually all these Mickeys on them. I said to James, can you video me trying to do it? Like these videos, I haven't seen the live text. It's just me going. Like, Clarabelle's not bothered.
I think they should see the light of day. I think you should post it and be like, when the characters don't respond.
Because I think she was just going like doing the like that on the thing, and I'm trying to do.
She wasn't having any of it.
Break down the communication. We'll put it down to that.
Still love you, Clarabelle.
Yeah, you're still here trying to put her in solid. So like, I'm the one.
I put her in above solid.
All right.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's a diva.
There's a secret third category that I wasn't aware of.
Just for Clarabelle. Right. Number 8. We mentioned him earlier. Oswald.
Yeah, he goes in solid. He goes in solid. Listen, if anyone's played Epic Mickey, the most recent one, I've had my run-ins with Oswald. We've been on a bit of a roller coaster, but we're friends now. No, I'm so happy, in all seriousness, that for Walt's sake, that Oswald is back under Disney ownership, and you do get that opportunity to go and meet him. Oswald was literally pretty much top of my list to meet as Walt, but there was a bit. The event was a bit of a nightmare. I can't lie. There was the queues, and like we managed to meet 2 characters out of 40. And they handed us an autograph book and a pen when we came in. So like that obviously wasn't the intention for us to only be able to meet 2. And the 2 that we met were Turk and Mushu. So it's like not exactly the biggest queues out of the people that were there. But like they shut the queues off like an hour and a half before they said they were gonna. And so yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare. But because of the reason why I passed Clarabelle, see, Oswald was top of my list. So like he is a solid for me. Technically the OG as well. Like he precedes Mickey.
Yeah, he does.
Right, number 9, Peter Pan.
Yeah, all day solid. If I could put Peter Pan in the more than solid Clarabelle category, I would. I played Peter Pan when I was a young boy in school in year 7. So when I was 11 years old or something like that. When I was in my first year of secondary school. So I feel like I've got a connection to the character. I love the idea that I think my friends kind of see me as that kid that's never grown up.
Yeah.
And I've said many a times that like I refer to the people who don't like us Disney adults as pirates, because they're the people that kind of grew up, and we're the ones that know how to get back to Neverland, and we're the lost boys, you know.
Yeah, no, that's a great way to put it, and got to agree with you there as well. I mean, I was
pirates or muggles. They're my 2 words.
I love saying muggles.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're finishing off with a strong one. He is on my top. Can you guess which one it is?
Pluto.
It's a he.
Oh,
So
yeah.
is it Pluto?
It's Pluto.
It's Pluto. Yeah. Of course, it's solid. Pluto.
Has to be.
Is it,
He's actually Mickey's best pal.
yeah, well, that's why me and him have a couple of disagreements. There's actually a clip that I've got that's never seen the light of day.
Yeah.
Where I thought it was just going to be a fun little interaction where we were going to have a bit of banter, and I showed Pluto that my Instagram says Mickey's best pal, and he put his ears over his eyes and was really sad. And I was like, no. That wasn't, I thought we were just going to have fun. Like, no, you're his best pal. I was like, I'm his best human pal. You're his best dog pal. We're all good. And then we had a hug out. So it was, yeah, and I love Pluto. I really do. I think it is consistently one of the, you'll always have a fun time meeting Pluto in the park.
Yeah.
He scratches his nose and he shakes his leg. It's just good fun.
No, it's great. And I think that's the end of roll call.
That's the end of roll call.
Wow.
I only passed Clarabelle, I think.
Yeah. And apart from that, we pretty much agreed on nearly everything. Maybe 8 out of 10. Damn.
I'm glad we got at least a pass from you, just for Joe's satisfaction.
Yeah, but like, you know, I didn't even get to take my headphones off and do a lap of the room.
There was one that I was worried about coming up, because I've been quite vocal for my dislike for this character in the past.
Oh, go on then.
No, because I'm worried because this character is allegedly going to be the star of the new Toy Story film, so I don't want to. Listen, I'm not a big fan of Jessie. All right, I've got an issue with Jessie.
Funny because, right, so a Buzz was originally on the list, and I took him off, and then I nearly put Jessie on. And then I replaced it with Oswald.
Well,
that was coming.
Yeah, Jessie. I kind of hold a bit of a grudge from Toy Story 2 with Jessie. I don't like the way that I feel like she's quite selfish. I don't think she's very nice about Woody, and the rest of the gang. I think all she cares about is getting out of the box.
Did you see how badly she was treated? Do you not remember when somebody loved me?
The way I appreciate that, but like it is one of them things where like she thought she had it bad when she was on the side of the road and she ended up in a box. So it's kind of like count your blessings. The grass isn't always greener. Do you know what I mean? But no, it's more of a kind of a running joke. I remember when I was a kid, I watched. I felt awful for Bullseye. When Woody's so Woody's about to go and Bullseye looks really sad. He does what Pluto did to me when I said I was Mickey's best pal, and his head goes down and his ears go and he walks away, and I felt awful and I was like, oh no, Woody, maybe you should stay. And then Jessie comes in and starts barking and saying, it's like, oh, listen, right, nobody's asked you here, Jessie. This is between Woody and Bullseye and his friends. So yeah, but no, it's more of a running joke. Now there's actually a video of when we meet Jessie and I go out of my way to like go the other side and only get a photo stood next to Woody. It's a running joke between me and my wife, but it's actually come out as a rumor. Well, not even a rumor. I think somebody, maybe even Tim Allen or someone like that, has kind of come out and said that Jessie's going to be the focal character of Toy Story 5.
I'd rather it be Bullseye.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Jessie, but the more you said it, the more I'm like, actually, yeah, fair enough. But I love Bullseye. I love him so much. Like,
same. And I'm not a huge fan of Toy Story 4 as a film, but I like the film. It doesn't feel that much of a Toy Story film to me. It feels like a Woody spin-off, which is fine, because Forky's great, and the two bears that they met at the fun fair are great. So I hope they're in Toy Story 5 because the additions of the characters that have been fun.
Yeah, no, they're a lot of fun, but blow my mind a bit about Jessie. But it's fine. You've explained yourself, and we'll just have to agree to disagree. But right,
nobody's perfect. I'm sorry.
Well,
my own flaws.
You know, Hannah Montana did say it. Okay, we're gonna get back onto track a little bit and refer back to what me and Jack were talking about in the first half of this before you got here, and. Today we've been speaking about the possibility of a Disney park in the UK. like what our thoughts on it would be, what kind of rides we'd see there, where would it be, and obviously we just want to kind of pick your brains on what you would think. How would you feel about having a Disney park here, obviously closer to home?
I mean, I'm so in two minds about this because obviously the first answer is yeah, bring it. I would have it next door.
Yeah.
And in all seriousness, I do live in the Lake District, so there's a lot of space.
Yeah.
So don't think it would ever happen because, like, people would be naturists would be bothered about that, and I'm not going to get into that debate. So that's fair enough. But maybe one day it will happen. I think there's a potential that if Universal UK does well and Merlin starts to plummet, that they might look at just buying Merlin because like they've got Legoland, Madame Tussauds, all that kind of thing. You can kind of Disneyfy those experiences and have a big presence in the UK. And Alton Towers, I think, is a beautiful park. I really do. I think that it's stunning to walk around. I think that is just lacking that Disney magic, and that could be a stunning theme park. It used to be, I think, more immersive than it is now. I feel like they've leaned heavy into kind of horror stuff, and like every section is like Forbidden Forest, except Dark Forest, Forbidden Valley. You know what I mean? Everything's kind of got this kind of almost like a horror connotation to it.
Yeah.
Whereas when I was growing up, it had like Ugland, which was like caveman, and you know what I mean. And like it had like a New England bit, which was all like knights and stuff like that. So like, I just feel like it's such a beautiful park. Whether Merlin kind of pull the finger out over these next 6 years until Universal UK does open.
Yeah.
But I hope they do, because I think they do have a bit of time to turn people's minds. But back to Disney, sorry. I would love it. I've just got so many questions in terms of like the weather, how it would feel. Like I love people from the UK, but can they bring that Disney magic that the people from the US bring? I'm not sure.
We said this.
Yeah, exactly the same. Like we spoke about the weather, we spoke about the people, because I said one of the main things I said was like, let's be honest, like what we're like.
Yeah.
What we're like, British people. We're very
grumpy, aren't we?
Yeah, we are real grumpy, and
we sound like, so bad.
As Claire was saying as well, like they need to be picky with who they hire. I think I don't want it to be a case of like obviously everyone needs like a part-time job and stuff, or like obviously a full-time job, but like don't just for Disney, like you want people that actually put their heart and soul into it, like give their everything. You don't just want like every Tom, Dick, and Harry coming off the screen and be like, I'm just gonna go to Disney. Why not?
Because they'll probably pay relatively well, and you know what I mean, and stuff like that. You'll have a lot of protection if you work at Disney in terms of you work obviously for a big company, so you probably get like pensions and all that stuff. It's probably a job forever as well, because if it opens, it probably ain't gonna shut. So
no, there's no.
I think that it would have to be further south though, probably, because I think, and I've said this about the Universal UK park, I think if you make a Disney theme park in London, you have to make it quintessentially British in a somewhat fake way. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean it in the sense of like Main Street USA is not what America looks like, but it's what we as Brits fantasize that America looks like. So they give us that authentic American experience, which is somewhat kind of a bit of a fake experience. But I feel like to do that in a UK version of that, you're going to need kind of like red buses, red phone boxes, something Mary Poppins. You're going to have to like fish and chip shops. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's impossible. And I don't think it's necessarily out of the question, especially if Universal make a lot of money, because Disney will just want a slice of the pie. But I do think that as Europeans, we think that the distance between Paris and London is a lot further than that of an American. Whereas they'll look at that as what you can probably get a train from, say, Universal to probably King's Cross or one of the airports or the Eurotunnel, and you can probably be within Disneyland Paris within like 3 hours on a couple of trains. That's not a great deal of time to somebody that is flown over from America who like has their state, it will take them longer than that to drive. You know what I mean? Who, like, some people in America have like 3-hour commutes. It's just it's a huge country.
Yeah.
So they almost view Europe as like one country, the way that Americans talk about it. And I do get it, because it's like Europe is like a load of different states. It's not too different to what America is.
Yeah.
So I think that it's kind of, they'll be in no rush to do it as well. Not to go into too boring stuff as well, but I think that they've announced the Disneyland Kids Pass. They had an opportunity with Adventure World, and I'm not saying that this is the wrong decision. It's probably the right one. They had an opportunity with Adventure World to probably create a more adult style vibe or coaster, or something that is a little bit more appealing to an older crowd. That isn't like me. I'm 31. I'll go because it's Disney. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Up appeals to me. Probably doesn't appeal to that many. So does Frozen. So, but they've made that kind of creative decision to go lean even more into family experience than that kind of older age group. And I don't think that's an accident. I think that they now know, especially Universal, are gonna. They probably knew about the Universal Park 6 months before we did.
Oh yeah.
So they probably thought, you know what, let's actually be the more of a family resort and let Universal be the one that's got the coasters, that's got the Horror Nights, that's got all this and that. Because we probably can't compete with that right now because of Paris. To me as well, when you go, it does feel like there's more families there. It feels like your Peter Pans, your Snow Whites have got massive queues. Princess Pavilion's got massive queues. When you go to Orlando, it's not really the case, I find. The sort of 30 to 40 minutes. Like, I walked in and met 4 princesses. Did not queue at all. I think I might have gone when a parade was on or something, but like did not queue at all. Like, you cannot do that in Paris. Yeah, true. Yeah, exactly. See.
Yeah. Yeah. See. Skip.
Don't watch it every
4
time.
princesses. Have that.
Yeah, but no. Again, I think it's possible. Never say never. But I just right now I feel Universal is a better fit than Disney in the UK.
Yeah. Yeah. So say that Disney announced like 6 months down the line they're building a park here. You said you wanted it to be more down south. What sort of area are you thinking? Because I, obviously, being the proud Welshman that I am, I would like it to be in Wales. Jack said an amazing shout, and he said Scotland. The only thing with Scotland is the weather's a bit.
It's the same, yeah. I mean, like
place.
if it was up to me, I think that the Lake District would be a perfect place, and I say that because there's about probably 30 to 40 hotels. It's a tourist attraction already.
Yeah.
But within that tourist attraction is just a lot of land. Granted, that is part of the attraction, so that's why I think it would be tricky. But if they could find the right space, for me, like, I know Alton Towers is in the Peak District. You know, there was probably a lot of uproar about that being built there, but it doesn't stick out. It's not something that kind of is a massive eyesore. It's something that you almost would miss if you.
No, it's hidden. Like when I was driving.
Yeah, it's like a hidden forest, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is what I think, again, it's why part of why I love that park probably the most in the UK, is because I do think that although it's not fully there anymore as much as it used to be, there is a lot more of a sense of immersion that you'll get from there than probably other ones. Like, even though they've got a monorail, you know, like that. They've got their own music that, like, instantly when you hear that's Alton Towers to me.
Yeah.
I can't think of a Thorpe Park song that does that, or a Chessington, or like, you know what I mean. So that's why I think Alton Towers has always been the pinnacle for me, and that's where, if I was Disney, I would look at buying if I could, because it's kind of there already. You just need to put a lick of paint and probably stick some IPs on rides that we already know and love. That's how I would like to play it. But somebody that I spoke to as well said that Alton Towers would make for an incredible Harry Potter world, whole thing. Make Alton Towers a Hogwarts castle. Actually have different lands, and it's like Hogwarts Legacy, but in real life. And I was like, all right, okay, that, because it's even got the lake out the front. Imagine being able, so you walk in, that lake is right there. Imagine if there was a little ride where you could go over on the little boats.
I'd cry. Do you know,
unbelievable.
That first scene, you see the castle in, you know, Sorcerer's Stone, Philosopher's Stone, wherever you're from. It's like, oh my gosh, look, wow. You know, when you first see Hogwarts, is like amazing. It was sort of like it's kind of like that when you walk down Diagon Alley for the first time at Universal, and you get to the end of the street, and you're like, you're there. Hogsmeade, not Diagon Alley.
No, I agree. I was
It's
with
there.
you. I didn't even know you said the wrong word. I knew what it was. I was fully with you.
But yeah, no, you sort of get that experience of like, oh, wow, the scale of this place. Yeah, that's a good shout. That's
the only reason I think London is because of connections. That's
Yeah.
the only reason why I think they would probably go down south. But I would love for it to be in the Lake District, or Scotland, Wales. I would love for all of them things.
Yeah.
I would just love for it to be here because we have got the space, but it's just it's the logistics that worry me.
Yeah. So we said a couple of rides that could possibly be there. Obviously, quite trying to make it a more British thing, because obviously there's a lot of Disney which is based in Britain. So like we listed off like maybe a whole land for Winnie the Pooh, and like have something which is just solely the 100-acre woods.
God, I still think that's a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've the same sort of ride, I think, is possibly they go in Tokyo or Shanghai, with they got one of the best Disney, Winnie the Pooh rides in
Tell you what,
the world.
Speaking of going back to Alton Towers for a second, that would be a great 100-acre wood, because you could actually finally make something of the gardens without necessarily needing to put an attraction in there.
Yeah.
Oh, those gardens need work on them.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And you would just hide little like figurines of Pooh, and you know what I mean, have the little tree hut and like all them little things. So it's just like a little walk-through attraction, similar to the tree houses,
Yeah. 100%.
No, I've never been to Alton Towers.
Oh right, you should. It's worth a trip, 100%.
Yeah,
you'd enjoy it. It's, you know what it was when I went the other week. I liked it, but I have a very similar opinion to you, Jordy, where it's not the same as it was before. It used to be better, I think, and a lot of the magic of it has gone. And it's not because we're getting older; it's just because I went when I was like a teenager and still had it. It's, and like I said, I was saying to James, like when we were there, I was like, it just makes me want to go back to Disney. Like,
It's frustrating.
It is frustrating.
You want it to be better, and it's only little things that need really tweaking to be better, like the food, and you know what I mean, like little details. Because like the rides are solid and stuff like that. It's just like it feels like a lack of caring, and that's what kind of hurts the most. It's like, I'm not asking you to spend millions on this park, just asking you to do a few more of them little things to just bring that immersion and that magic back. And
it's very
staff is part of that as well.
Yeah.
You feel like you're annoying them, like you're interrupting their conversations. And,
I felt that the whole time.
Yeah, it's like you're an inconvenience, and you've paid X amount of money to get in that park, and you feel like an inconvenience to the staff, and that's not great. Vaping everywhere. People are just vaping in queues, like literally everywhere. And this has come from someone who smokes as well. So like, I'm not a stickler for the rules, but like, if I've got to go to a smoking area, so should everyone. But this is again why I think it's a worry, and why I think Disney World have done it better by just taking smoking areas out of the park. Because if you have smoking areas dotted around the park, people will always just walk around smoking, saying, "Oh, I'm walking to this. I'll be there. I was just walking. I've just left this area." You'll never really be able to kind of catch them. If you take them out, so the only ones are at park entrance and exit, then you're going to be able to tell if someone's smoking in the park, because it's blatantly obvious. And I actually complained to Alton Towers about that, and they did get back to me with a pretty good offer, but it's so far away, I couldn't justify going to I'd have had to stay an extra night, and you know what I mean, it would have still had like financial connotation. Sorry, I can't. We veered away from a question there.
We did.
I feel like we do that whole episode on Alton Towers now, but hopefully, Universal.
It's from a place of love. That's the thing. It really is.
You obviously want it to be better than.
I don't want it to go. I'm worried. I'm very. I don't listen. I've not been to Thorpe Park that much. I'm not that worried about Thorpe Park. I'm worried about Alton Towers. That if we lost that, it would it would hurt. Even if Disney bought it, it would hurt a bit because it's like we're losing. We're losing that. That's gone. You know what I mean?
It just needs a real kick at the arse, to be honest.
They do. Even if they need to kind of consolidate and not have as many theme parks at Merlin and put all their effort into all their eggs into one basket and make that one really good, I would advise looking at doing that rather than trying to have a few half-ass ones.
Yeah, no, definitely. Obviously, you want it to be better, so it makes the experience a better guest experience again, like it possibly used to be. Like I said, I've never been, so I'm not sure of what it used to be like and what it's like now. So it's like my first time going there will be my first experience there. So
you'll have a great time, especially as like a first experience.
I think you'll just come back and you'll be like, I know exactly what you two mean now.
Yeah.
You'll just be like, I completely agree. I had a great time, but it's just it could be better, and it's frustrating that it's not.
And I just got annoyed with the crowds and stuff. Like at Disney, you don't.
10 till 6, it should be open for longer than 10 till 6 as well. But
it's on it. That's
this time of year as well, yeah. And it was only 10 till 4 up until like a month ago.
Yeah. And
that's like nothing. That's no time at all.
6 hours.
Yeah.
It had a very those the parts of it I really enjoyed. You know what? I really enjoyed it as a day out, but like it's like a day kind of thing. Yeah, I said literally obviously we couldn't do a couple of rides because of how busy the queues were. I thought I'd probably do one night here, but imagine that saying that same sentence about Disney.
Couldn't.
Exactly, couldn't. So it's the whole. I think if Disney was to come in the UK, they need to make it like they just need to put everything into it.
Competition, isn't it? That this is what Merlin and Alton Towers haven't like Thorpe Park, or they haven't had it. They've not had any competition, and it kind of goes back to that point I was making right at the start about like competition being a healthy thing and showing like I need to up my game because that person is or that company are gonna kind of overtake me if I don't kind of readjust. And I just really hope that Merlin, whether they publicly own up to it, they won't, but they have been taking advantage of UK theme park fans by creating a monopoly that there's no other ones to go to. So like we have to go for that experience whether we like it or not, and we have to pay for it whether we like it or not if we want to go to a decent theme park. So hopefully they realize that they've had that and now they will no longer have that. If anything, Universal will definitely get the sway for probably the first 2 or 3 years. So it's like you just up your game and readjust and rediscover that magic and you know what as well, points specifically in Alton Towers, it does have it. Like there's the ride that they've done recently, Curse of Alton Manor. Did you go on that?
Yeah.
See, I think the queue of that was pretty good, and I think that area is pretty good theming wise in terms of like you can actually get some like unique snacks to like spooky snacks that are just unavailable in that area. Do you know what I mean? So I was like,
it's the black vanilla ice cream where it's the black ice cream.
Yeah. So like stuff like that.
But that's the only place that loves stuff like that.
Yeah. So it's like, why don't you do that in each section?
Yeah. Like Galactica, they could do loads of futuristic stuff, and you've got the roller coaster restaurant, which everyone moans about. But there's nothing else there.
Don't get me started on that roller coaster restaurant.
Yeah, I've heard
it's not good food.
I've heard many things about that restaurant.
Yeah, any of them good?
No, this is called. Right, this is how bad it is. When we went the other week, we brought our own sandwiches.
Oh wow!
It's the only theme park that I'd consider doing that for because, like, otherwise you're probably paying £20 for a school dinner burger.
Yeah.
Whereas, like Disney, back to Disney because this was the original thing, and even Universal now that are very much more leaning into it.
Yeah.
People go to like Epcot, like you said, food and wine. Food is part of the Disney experience. Getting them Mickey snacks, getting them, and listen, they probably they don't cost that much to make or whatever. Like it's similar to what Alton Towers are doing and charging me £20 for a school dinner burger, but it's shaped like Mickey Mouse. It's unique. You get a little cheese sauce with it, and it is tasty. It does taste nice, and that's all you need. It just needs to taste nice and look good.
Yeah.
Like nobody's asking for Michelin star. Like, and if you are, like, you are going to private dining, there is that at, like, Walt Disney World and stuff like that, and even Disneyland Paris, I think, are heading that way now with that new Secret Garden restaurant. But if it's just for snacks and quick service and stuff like that, it doesn't need to be great. It just needs to be all right. And Alton Towers isn't even that. Like, that's where I have an issue with it. It's like, Christ, like, I would rather next time I'm bringing sandwiches, like, because I don't want to pay for that. Sorry, Alton Towers.
I love how we turn this into Disneyland UK into Alton Towers to step their game up.
They do.
If they need to, they need to. You know, it's got to be done.
I just hope they do. I hope we're not sat here in 8 years' time having another conversation, being like, "Oh, Alton Towers was good, wasn't it?" You know what I mean? Like, and I think that is a possibility.
Yeah,
certainly within a decade. And that just worries me a little bit. But
yeah,
there you go. I don't think the CEO of Merlin's going to be listening to us have a rant about it. But maybe we should send it to him.
Yeah, let's send this entire little snippet by send it to the marketing team, whatever team it is at Merlin, and be like, look, this is what you need to fix.
I've got a contact from when I complained. So
this is what you need to fix.
Just say we've got a plan for Disneyland UK. We're going to introduce this if you don't stake your game up.
But I know the mouse.
You're literally his best mate.
Yeah.
He'll listen. So Disneyland UK.
Yeah, so back onto the rides, which we were suggesting, because that's what we were starting to say before the tangent arose about Alton Towers. So no, it's great, it's fine. So yeah, we said about a Winnie the Pooh section. You know, obviously Under Lake Woods and the new Winnie the Pooh ride, which is, I think, is in California and in either Shanghai or Tokyo, but there's the Asia Park version is better. We also said about Peter Pan. That's definitely gonna have to be a ride if it ever did come over here. Yeah. But again, that's gonna be the version over at Fantasy Sea, I think it's called, isn't it? In Tokyo. It's gotta be that version because that knocks spots over what we have at Paris and Walt Disney World. Don't get me wrong, it's a nice ride, not worth queuing 70, 80, 90 minutes sometimes. It's not worth it. What was a few of the others we said, Jack?
We said Big Thunder.
Yeah, I said you gotta have a Big Thunder Mountain.
Yeah. And Space Mountain. We said we
Space Mountain, but the new version they're making over in Tokyo.
Okay.
And I also said I'd love to see a Robin Hood dark ride.
That would be good.
I'd love to see
Sherwood Forest wouldn't be a bad place to a location probably as well.
You are talking to the man, the myth, the legend, the one from Nottingham himself.
No, the sheriff himself.
Yeah.
I mean, they do not celebrate it at all, really, but that's for another day.
But yeah, no, I'd really like to see something like Robin Hood, because that's a film, an absolute classic. I don't feel gets enough love that it deserves. It's brilliant. It's a wonderful story all the way through, and it's one of the originals, you know.
Yeah, and what a good way that would be to bring it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's really good. I'm trying to think of one.
Yeah, obviously that's like 4 or 5 that we sort of came up with that we would love to see, obviously in a UK park. And obviously my question would be then to you: is there anything that you think that we could add to the parks?
Right. Yeah. Stay with me. Stay with me. Yeah.
He's thinking. The cogs are turning. You can see them.
The cogs are turning. UK 101 Dalmatians is UK.
Yeah.
What about a dark ride that is like, so you're in a car, maybe you're a police, and you're seeing the story of 101 Dalmatians pan out or play out.
Mm.
Or even similar to like a rock and roller coaster where there's like a pre-show.
Yeah.
But the ride is that you're chasing Cruella.
That'd be so much fun.
And you get that launch that you get on like a
Yeah.
roller coaster, and like loads of screens of her like driving past, laughing in
Yeah.
maniacal way.
And you see her crazy eyes and stuff like that.
Yeah. You can
Yeah.
have like a Horace and Jasper moment with like where you see their van as well. And,
Yeah.
almost like, you know what could be good as well. You know, the Radiator Springs Racers ride. Now
Yeah.
I've not been on it, but I know that like the first half is like a dark ride, and then you kind of go out into the Radiator Springs,
Yeah.
and you're racing, aren't you? And it's more of like a fast ride. I guess similar to the way Test Track works.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe like a start that's a dark ride, and it's showing you the story and all the doggos and stuff like that, and then at the end it's like it opens up and you have to go and chase Cruella.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Like I like the idea, like having it similar to what Test Track is, you know. 'cause
Yeah, and I
obviously
just love 101 Dalmatians as
Yeah.
well. That the original, the animated. Every time I watch it, it's just such a delightful thing for your eyes.
Yeah.
Eyes, ears. It's just such a nice experience. The dogs
Yeah.
are so cute. Even back then, they capture it so well through like hand-drawn animation. I think it's and
Yeah.
obviously that you see all the photos of them getting a load of Dalmatians into the studio and that. But
Yeah. Oh, it's great, didn't it?
I just think that moment of Cinderella
To-
driving fast needs to be captured in a ride.
Yeah. And to be an animator on the day that you know, you get to draw dogs all day. What a day that would have been.
Or when the lion gets brought in.
Yeah. Bloody hell.
Crazy.
How times it
That'd wake you up, wouldn't it, if you hadn't had a coffee?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Another one I just thought of, Mary Poppins would have to be. I mean,
Yeah.
I think something going through, you know, all of the like chalk drawings at
There was one rumored for Epcot, wasn't there?
There was, and then nothing came of it.
So I got a friend who theorized that the reason it never happened at Epcot is because they're saving it for a UK Disneyland park. So whether that comes into fruition somewhere in the future, we never know. But
you know, because
weird that it got taken away from the UK pavilion.
Yeah, it is, because again, I think Mary Poppins is one of those things which doesn't get enough love. You know, I mean, it's a brilliant West End show. Is a fantastic film. I mean, you got Saving Mr. Banks, which is obviously based around that time as well, and it is a shame, really, because it does need more love. And you go into the UK pavilion in Epcot, you don't see a lot of Mary Poppins stuff. You go into the shop right at the back, kind of like where you exit meeting Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
And there's maybe a small corner for it. It's like last year when I went, I think it was the 60th anniversary of Mary Poppins, and it was hardly anything there for her. It was a shame, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I'd love to see some sort of
get out and about her from time to time, but yeah, they never really. It's kind of a surprise meet when you see them.
Yeah. I mean, I think I seen her whilst I was walking past the parade, and she was the back end of the parade, like one of the very last characters. But yeah, that's the only time I've seen her. Sad, but yeah, that's another thing I would love to see if there was ever a UK Disney park. I do wish we don't have to weather for it, I don't think, but I'd love there to be another Epcot. And I know that, you know, that was Walt's thing over in Florida, you know.
I've heard if you put one in Tokyo, the world would be the biggest hidden Mickey.
I seen that. I seen that in the week, and it should be done.
I could imagine Tokyo doing it.
Yeah. I think especially like all the new, like they're getting a lot of investment, and I know it's because obviously Disney own the park, but they don't.
Yeah, it's financed by a different company.
Yeah, so they obviously have a much bigger budget than what a lot of the Disney's own stuff does sometimes. So yeah, you could see them doing Epcot pretty good. Could you imagine an updated version of Spaceship Earth?
Needs it.
Oh, it's the charm of it, though.
No, I know, but I just mean we need to update it because we've gone further than where it stops now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
oh my god, yeah.
Like like stops at the invention of like the telephone or something. Like we just
Yeah.
I think we just need to
Maybe you
progress
a couple more scenes.
again, it's to educate, isn't it? That's why it's there. So it's just probably to further educate some things that have gone on.
Yeah.
In the past kind of 50 years.
Yeah, but no, let's. That'd be a lot of fun. Can you imagine seeing an updated spaceship?
I would love to see what they would do with it at Tokyo Disney with the technology
my gosh,
and the money that they have. So it would be incredible for sure.
Oh, it would be one of the best, if not the best, dark rides in the world. You know, and that's the way a lot of things go with Tokyo Disney. Everything there is just brilliant. And with that being said, I think we're coming to the end of our time with you, Jordy.
I think we are.
Yeah,
there we go.
We've been going for quite a while, and we've covered a lot, touched bases on a lot, and it's been wonderful having you on, and it's nice to have you on our platform as much as we've been onto your platform now, and it's nice to get you back on here and have a chat with us here. So I'm glad that we've got to do it.
Absolutely. No, yeah, it's been lovely to be here, lads. Like, I'm always here. If you need a guest, just give me a shout and we'll see what we can do. But no, it's nice because especially with doing my own podcast now, try and not talk about myself too much on there and my experiences and stuff because I'm more bothered about getting it out of the guests because obviously I can't say the same things every week.
Yeah.
So it is nice to have that opportunity. So I do, and of course, it's been a very welcoming environment to just come and say how I feel about the things that I love the most. So I appreciate giving me that opportunity.
No, it's been great. Like I said, it's a wonderful insight to the mind of Mickey's best pal. Everything that you've shared is brilliant. So we just we appreciate you so much and thank you so much for coming on. You're a massive inspiration to both of us with content wise and obviously podcast wise and things.
Me off.
No, but it's so true. We look up to you so much, and we really appreciate you taking the time out and coming on here speaking to us.
The pleasure's all mine, honestly. And like I say, if I'm any form of inspiration to you two, that is the biggest compliment because you two I've loved getting to know you both, and I think that this is just the beginning of our friendship. And
definitely.
I think you're just two great guys doing great things in the community. So if I have inadvertently, accidentally played any part in inspiring that journey, then it's like I say, it warms my heart to hear that. So we're flying the flag for the UK Disney community.
Too right. Just right. And before you go, I want to ask a non-Disney related question. What are your backlash predictions? This is WWE for anybody who's listening and probably thinking, what is he on about?
John Cena's going to return. He's going to beat Randy Orton.
Do you think that he's going to
slap the ref in the face?
Yeah.
100%. He'll get himself intentionally disqualified. Yeah. And the fans are going to hate it.
Yeah, it's intentionally disqualified and retires from wrestling just like that. Love it. Jordy, it's been wonderful having you. We'll speak to you extremely soon. But for the minute, thank you for coming on, and we'll catch you soon.
Absolutely, my man. It's like I say, it's been lovely to be here. So thank you all, anyone that's listened, and I'm sure I'll see you real soon.
Yeah, see you real soon.
Joe, how amazing was it to have Jordy with us?
He's so great, isn't he? I love Jordy to bits. Genuinely getting to know him for the last, I don't know, six months. If it's been there, it's been wonderful, and obviously he's been someone that we wanted to get on pretty much since we spoke about this. We knew that Jordy was going to be a guest, and for him to come on, it was really special. It was a lot of fun. We had a great time.
Yeah, I always can't express the love we have for that guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
he's the only way I can put it. He's brilliant through and through because they're a genuine nice person inside and out.
Oh yeah, he's great. Like you said, it's just so much love for him. Like I said to him, he's obviously a massive inspiration to not just us, but those in the community, and that's what makes him amazing. So it was a massive thank you to Jordy, Mickey's best pal, for taking time out of his day to, come and spend it with us.
Come on, talk to little old us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, well, thank you again, everyone, for listening, and really hope you enjoyed today's special episode. We are now only one episode away until the end of Series 1.
I know, how exciting. And we already know next week's guest is going to be,
We already do. It's, you might recognise his face.
Yeah.
You might recognise his face. There may even be another face popping onto it as well.
They may be. They may be. All recognisable.
Recognisable.
Quite familiar faces.
I can't wait.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be a fun finale, and then that'll be wrapping up season 1.
Yeah. We're going to take a couple of weeks, get some updated ideas.
Yeah, we're going to have a proper brainstorm. I think all I can say is more to come at the UK Disney meetup in July.
Yes.
More details will be revealed then.
Definitely so. But for now, Lo, we're going to have to say goodbye.
We are.
Unfortunately, because we could talk for hours and hours and hours. But we will say cheerio. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Follow. Whatever platform you're on. We'll catch you in next week's episode for the very last of the season.
See you next time.
See you next week.